Hi, my name is Stephen Rafferty, and you're watching / listening to These Are Questions. This is the interview show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. And today we are here in the studio interviewing various talents here for Season 8 of These Are Questions, and I am with a talented musician, songwriter, and a creative artist. He's the one and only Stu Sauce.
I'm Stu Sauce, baby. What's going down, party people?
Everything's going down because you're here on These Are Questions.
I love that, Steven. Dude, it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Stu. It's been a while, man, and I'm so excited for you to be a part of this show, and I'm excited for you to be interviewed in today's episode. We go way back. Fun fact for fellow listeners and viewers, if you remember Season 6, the live special at the Riverside Mic, he had a cameo appearance towards the end of the episode and end of the special. But now we're going to get full in-depth behind the musician of Stu Sauce.
Dude, awesome. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to tell everybody at home and everybody over here, including yourself, a little bit behind the sauce, man.
Behind the sauce here on These Are Questions. We're going to make it happen. So, Stu, I'm going to ask you a series of questions going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid. Do you accept those terms?
I accept.
All right. Perfect. Stu, are you ready?
Ready as Freddy, baby.
Ooh, I love it. Internet, are you ready? Take that as a yes. They are ready. With that, let's begin our interview this afternoon, or whenever we're doing this. We could be doing this at midnight right now. You don't know. I don't know. Somebody knows. Exactly. Stu, thank you so much for being a part of These Are Questions. I really do appreciate your time, and I just want you to just introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners here on today's episode and explain how you got into the music scene and explain more or less your history and some of your memorable hits that you have produced so far.
So, that was a lot. That's a lot coming at me. Let's break this all down.
Let's break it down.
All right, so the first thing about me as Stu Sauce, right? Stu Sauce is a funky, funny musician, and it's weird talking about myself in third person like this because it's just this very hyper version of myself outside because you can only be on so often. You know what I'm saying? It's fun, funky music, man. Trying to bring a party to the people. I like creating good times for the world, and so a lot of the music is upbeat. It's fun and funny. It's very what's the word I would look for? It's very easy. Nothing too crazy and out there. Nothing that makes people feel too sad and somber. And so everything being upbeat and very chill is the goal of Stu Sauce music. I've been doing this since I was 17. I've been hitting the different places in the scene since I was a kid, staying up till 2 a.m. At bars just to play the music I wrote back as a little punk rocker into what I'm doing now as a fun, funky, funny musician, hitting up the improv where I put out debuts of songs like Poopin' on the Clock and other things like BDS, which is going to be an acronym you probably look up, party people. And I think my most memorable hit was when I was with a band called Exotic Yayo. We were playing for 2015 till 2019 because COVID kind of knocked out our business model. We were doing original music all over it, Dada, Dubliner, and one of our bigger venues that had us at a residency was the BB&T Center for the hockey games.
Okay, wow.
And I think the song that people really asked a lot about was Heyo Yayo Mr. Snowman.
That's cool. That's a cool acronym and name in itself there.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting. And I didn't know you played for the BB&T Center, now the Americ Bank Arena, and who knows, maybe come back there in the future.
I'm hoping so. I'm working with an R&B band right now that I'm hoping we can get out that way. I'm working with a tribute band right now that hopefully, it might not be that tribute project that gets out there, but if we're doing other songs or we're doing a different kind of gimmick, we might end up back over there. And if we are over there, maybe it'll be bigger than just the hockey games, which is big in itself. It might be for a regular stage show, especially with the tribute that I'm working on right now.
Okay, well, I hope that goes well, and I hope your continual projects just keep happening, and you're just getting yourself more in the musical limelight, and I know you have, and I know you will, so that's going to be awesome in the long term.
I appreciate that, Steven.
Yeah, no problem. And I've listened to a lot of your music, and that's how we met. We met in a live show, and I was like, man, who's this funky guy just playing these cool vibes and just really resonating with the audience and really have that crowd control, so that's like crowd entertainment there. And I was like, it's Stu Sauce, the one and only here. And I really enjoy your vibe as being this funky and like funny artist. And as you're continuously evolving and as you're moving forward, is there a genre of music or type of musical instrument that you want to incorporate into like your future songwriting?
So the tribute project that I'm working on right now is show tunes. And
Okay.
so that has been the new thing on my list. It's both a passion project and the only kind of tribute I'm willing to put on. I love show tunes. I love Broadway.
Yeah.
I come from a family of Broadway people. In fact, Cyril Mostel is a cousin of mine. He was
okay.
the original Fiddler on the Roof. He was in The Producers. And so it's just in my blood. When it comes to new instruments, I'm having an oud worked on. It's either an oud or a saz. And so because I'm really hip to multiculturalism and I like to find the fun and funniness in all societies, like there's a lot of irony and satire in building songs around instruments. I think using that will be a great way to blend like things that are, or not poke a bear necessarily, but kind of like draw attention to the things that may be happening apolitically or something that can really draw people more together than separate.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I kind of see where you're coming from there and trying to have this togetherness with different cultures and subcultures and different genres and kind of having a mending plot of different types of backgrounds, behaviors, and just overall music connectedness in between.
Absolutely. I think using instruments for that kind of thing can really draw cultures together.
Yeah.
People will be like, oh, this is a really cool instrument. Let me do further research and see if there's more music like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, minus that, there's more music in the works. I'm having some music videos made. And
Ooh, you heard it here on These Are Questions.
absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, Poopin' on the Clock, a song that has been previously released, is having a music video made now by the same animator that did the BDS music video.
Okay.
And that'll be a lot of fun. It's going to reference a lot of different careers that definitely poop on the clock, whether you like it or not.
It's the way you're talking, Stu. It's like you're talking in a rhyme scheme right there. It's just the way you interact there, so that's cool.
I wish I had a doctorate in sociology. It'd be better.
Ooh. Maybe. You never say never. Maybe you can incorporate it in the future. Maybe you got to pitch to a university and be like, hey, I want this.
I'm for it.
I'm just saying. And, you've talked about instruments that you're planning to play in the future there, but how I met you, you were playing like this wicked cool guitar, and like I've seen you play different instruments there, but going with guitar specifically, what's your coolest guitar that you love playing in all your different sets?
When I'm doing acoustic sets, I have this beautiful Baby Taylor.
Okay.
I love to play. I bring that one out to pretty much every show right now that's acoustic. I'll take it on the road or I'll take it on airplanes. It's easy to pack.
Yeah.
When I'm playing electric shows, I have this mint green Japanese Fender Stratocaster with a pink competition stripe, and I've hooked it up with like a silvery mirror pickguard. I took some Gretsch tuning knobs, not tuning knobs up the top, but like the tone knobs and the volume knobs. Yeah. And I've souped it up so it's like this Gretsch meets Fender baby of mine. I love that guitar. That guitar is my all-time favorite. I have a bass that I really enjoy playing. Yeah. That was it's got some Seymour Duncan pickups in there for all my gearheads. Seymour Duncans are like a really, really full-sounding pickup. It's like the microphone for the guitars. Nasty. It plays so well. It's just heavy. The guitar, the Japanese Strat, is pretty light, and it gives me that R&B funk sound I really enjoy. It's very dynamic. It's very universal for different styles of music. It's my go-to.
Okay, that's a good go-to. That's cool. That's cool. Stratocasters are cool, man. And
Dude, that's the sound.
it's the sound, man. It's so cool. It's so dope. And like I said, you're a dope musician, and like that, like seeing you play, it's like you know how to handle with it, which is really cool.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you're one of the few cats who've, when we first met, you acknowledged the enjoyment for both the funny and the technical sides of the things that I do as a musician. Some people overlook stuff like that when they hear comedy music. And that's unfortunate because all they hear is the silliness. They don't see the work behind all of the intricacies in it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a similar vote with like actors, where it's like they always say if you're trying to be a comedian, it's harder than being a traditional like dramatic actor, because with comedy you really have to be in the absurd and understand the nuance of what kind of not to do depending on what's going on in the situation, and you're really applying with that, as opposed to like a dramatic actor. It's just easier to understand, easier to go through. Comedy's harder, and it's even harder when it comes to music, because you're not just doing the comedy bit and trying to have the correct timing and making sure you're being funny. You have that technicality with the actual instruments, and they can make a difference of your joke and how you want to handle said joke in said scenario.
Oh, 100%. I think sometimes being a musician and comedian at the same time, you have a lot of flexibility for timing.
Yes.
Timing is everything in both of those things. And so being a musician first, like primarily, and going into comedy, that was very helpful in marrying the two together for the comedy music.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely helps in that way, and it helps kind of blend things together in long term. So you're a multifaceted musician and a multifaceted comedian in your own right.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And speaking of being funny, and speaking of your name, Stu Sauce, and you got a cool name. It's definitely a celebrity type name in a sense, like you're gonna remember, right? But let me ask you, if you had specifically a flying saucer, okay, so flying saucer there, what type of sauce would you put into the saucer to deliver to different alien planets?
Ooh.
Okay.
I guess I would have to find the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria of flying saucers and go on a spice hunt, because I'm a big spice fan.
Ooh, okay.
So maybe like a green sauce
Okay.
with the kick of like island styles. I'm a big fan of Indonesian sauces.
Okay.
Like, I've been to Krakatoa. They've got some dope sauces I like to throw on things. And when I go to Trinidadian spots, they have this wild habanero sauce that is ineffable. And so maybe I would probably bring one of those two types of sauces to the alien life forms and kick things up a notch to 11, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That could be the potential peace treaty there with the sauce. You know what I mean? So it's important. I like that.
Absolutely. People like it hot. Aliens like it hot. I'm sure there's a universal creature or being out there that likes it hot.
The words of Stu Sauce as he delivers his sauce with the flying saucer. With sound effects, too. Let me ask you, 5 balloon animals or 5 stuffed animals?
Ooh. I can make some dope balloon animals.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of my my hidden talents. It's
Ooh, I didn't know
one of my
that.
Side jobs.
Side gigs?
Absolutely.
Hey, okay, fair
It's
enough.
better than the regular jobs.
Oh. Listen, I ain't knocking it. If it pays the bills and makes things happen, you got to do what you got to do.
It pays the bills and makes the thrills, my dude.
You got to write that down, man. What? That's so good. Oh.
So stuffed animals or balloon animals. I'm gonna go balloon animals, 110%.
Yeah, you're making money off it, so you're making a trade.
That's right.
That's true. Let me ask you this. Would you rather roll the dice or solve a Rubik's Cube to get a prize?
I would rather roll the dice. Solving a Rubik's Cube is not in my wheelhouse at all. I do not have the patience for that. It's too algorithmically put together, and I think playing the game of chance is more in my favor than using my brain that way. I know where my brain works, and that is not one of the functions that came in my DNA.
I appreciate your honesty and transparency. Rubik's Cubes are not easy, so I get it. Especially if you're trying to do it straight and you're not like people like me who just like peel the stickers and put the stickers over and then be like, yeah, I solved the Rubik's Cube.
You can peel the stickers off.
In certain ones you can.
Well, then you are a better man than I.
Yeah, but I didn't. But I appreciate it. Hey, we're learning from each other. Let's just say that. Let me ask you this. Would you ever want to fight a storage locker?
Fight a storage locker?
Yes.
I mean, if the storage locker wins, do I make $3 million like Mike Tyson?
Can't confirm or deny.
Do I have to sign a form?
Probably.
I like that. Those odds seem very in my favor.
It's kind of like rolling the dice.
Just like better than the Rubik's Cube.
If you roll the dice, you'll get a specific weapon that you can use to fight the locker.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
Okay. So I'll give you that.
It'll be like the Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll roll the dice. I'll get a dragon. It'll be like, use flamethrower. 10 points. Hit. And the Rocket League come out.
Rocket League.
Right? Wasn't that Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. We're getting mixed up with like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and actual Rocket League here.
Dude, that was like all 5th grade for me. It all merged at this point in my life. It's been a while.
It's okay. It's the thought that counts. We just got to get a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Just make it happen.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
That's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay. Shows how much I know about Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's okay. The more you know here on These Are Yu-Gi-Ohs, I mean, these are questions. We're thinking about ideas and it may be like potential dreams and kind of to switch gears back to music. What's the dream collaboration or what's the dream group that you want to work with in the future? No pressure.
No pressure. If I ever had the opportunity to jam with a band, like a band that's hitting stage right now and they're bigger than life, I would love to play with the band Fish. It's
Okay.
like one of my favorite bands of all time. Big jam band fan. Maybe Andy Frasco. He's pretty nasty. His whole band is amazing, and their stage show is ineffable. And when I saw them, they were really good. And there was something about their stage presence that was captivating. So to collaborate with them, or oh my gosh, there was another band that they brought on. He collaborated with this band called God at a Festival. And oh my gosh, to make a song like that would be so amazing. Locally in the scene, there is some really wild projects I would love to collaborate with. There's a cat who's a drummer. His name is Khalil. Call me Khalil. Really, really dope drummer. I would love to collaborate with him. He's pretty nasty with it. I'd say on guitar, if I can collaborate with somebody who's also big. Billy Strings. Oh my gosh, dude.
That would be
bluegrass
cool.
Skills. I could learn some things playing with that guy.
And you will. We're going to make it happen. We're manifesting here on These Are Questions. We're going to send it to them. Send it to the agency. Send it to this group. Be like, hey, we got a sauce. You got the strings. String sauce. Sauce strings.
Sauce strings.
Sauce strings.
I think strings would come before the sauce, though. He's bigger than I am.
Not yet. I like that, though. Yeah, that's some great collaborations and definitely stuff that can maybe potentially see into the future. I could definitely see it. So we're going to make it happen, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Making it happen. Boom.
This is wood.
This is wood. We're going to make it happen
This
here.
is questions.
These are questions. Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Let me ask, what's a funky piece of advice that you can give for aspiring musicians that want to go into your craft?
One more time.
What's a funky piece of advice that you can give for aspiring musicians that want to go into your craft?
Don't get discouraged. It's so easy as artists, because artists are people who are in their heads quite a bit, to be discouraged, not feeling like we need to be somewhere when we're not there 100% yet. There's a reason and a time for everything. When you're in music, music is time and tone. And life is very similar. The tone of your life is happening time to time, and the way you feel is only momentary, just like the time in which you're playing. It's the feel and everything that comes with it. And so it's so easy to be discouraged. And as a musician, I know that there's been times where things can get very discouraging, and muscling through that is very important. Not quitting, non-stopping. There will be times where you play your instrument and then you put it down for a little bit to pick up something else like another instrument, or you're putting down a song to pick up another song that you have to write. Knowing that you're going to come back to something, whether it's an instrument, a song, a project, keeping your mind open to all these things is very, very important. Another great piece of advice I think I could give to people going into either comedy music or music in general, or even comedy, is to go to shows. A funky piece of advice is go to shows, get loose with it, and take something back. If ever you go to a show and you know, dude, this cat makes me want to practice what it is that you want to practice. When I saw Fish for the first time, I was not a lead guitar player as well as I aspired to be. And I was like, ooh, I want this. And so I learned a bunch of Fish songs. And I learned all those lead lines for several of those things. And it made me a better player. It got me closer to where I wanted to go with it. I cannot say it got me to where I did 100% because I had to put it down. And I had to pick something else on top of that up. Helped me as a songwriter, though. It helped me with different aspects to this craft. And so as long as you're building and you're not discouraged 100%, or you're taking those ups and downs that come with whatever it takes that makes momentum, take those ups and downs and treat it as momentum. You're going to go further by having ups and downs a whole lot faster than if you took a straight path.
Very wise words there, Stu, and I can definitely resonate and relate with that, and I like that, you just resonating with other talents, and just going to the shows and just seeing what's there and seeing what made you inspired with the talent that's on stage, and how you can provide your own style and craft to that when you're practicing and developing your professional and personal appearances. So it's quite important.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Another thing that people can do is talk to people. I know that when you're at shows, you have to talk to everyone. That's how we met. And that's how you're going to find the people that are going to get you to that next place. A lot of it is connections.
Agreed. 100%, 100%. It's not what you know, it's who you know, especially on these questions. And with that, it's been a great interview, Stu. I just have one more question to ask you, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, and it's going back to being funky, but specifically it's with these funky items and people.
Funky.
So let me ask you this, and I wrote it down for a reason. Funky Kong, Funky Buddha, Funky District, Funky Town, and Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Which one from this group would you get rid of, and why?
Jeez.
No pressure. And these are funkies.
Funky Kong.
Yeah. Funky Buddha. Funky District. Funky Town. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. So out of the 5, which one would you get rid of?
I would have to say,
No pressure.
dude, there's a lot of pressure riding on this. I'm like the king of Funky Town. I'm very inspired by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, especially when he was in Boogie Nights.
That's true, yeah.
Funky Kong, is that Diddy Kong's kid?
That's with the Kong family, I believe, and I should know my Donkey Kong references more and more. I believe it's like the cousin, so it's in the family. And then Funky Buddha is the bar and brewery. We're not sponsored by them, but that is a place.
They've hosted one of the shows I've played before.
Ooh,
and so
okay, there's a personal connection
there's
there.
a personal connection, even though at the time I was more into Lagunitas beer. And Funky Buddha's definitely picked me up for a Battle of the Bands once.
Okay.
And even though I'm not a big beer fan, and I want to drop that name, I can't because they've helped me out, man. And so you got to look out for your own party people. I'm keeping Funky Buddha on the map.
Okay.
I have to keep Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch on the map because Boogie Nights. And there's some great scenes in that studio. If you've ever remember that movie, oh my gosh, that movie was great.
It's a great movie.
I'm going to have to... What's Funky District?
It's just a district that's funky. That's all it is.
I might have to get rid of Funky Kong.
Oh.
Yes, no harm and foul on Planet of the Apes or anything. But there's no connection, Funky Kong. You're not Hong Kong. And you're not Donkey Kong.
Ooh.
And Chewbacca wants you to know that the price is wrong, Funky Kong.
That could be your next song.
The price is wrong, Funky Kong. Sending you back to Cheech and Chong.
Ooh, get a cameo. Get the cameo of the two of them in there. Listen, Cheech and Chong, if you're hearing this or watching this, video idea.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
Cheech and Chong, I'm looking for you. Don't you worry. I don't do the things you do, but it's nothing I've never done before.
And I'll leave it at that as the words of Stu Sauce. And with that, this concludes our interview here on These Are Questions. Stu, pleasure.
Pleasure's mine, Steven.
Thank you so much for being a part of the show. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to put all of Stu's information in the description down below for our viewers and our listeners that are watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. You know the drill by now if you made it to this far, especially in Season 8 of all seasons. We thank you and appreciate all of you for watching and listening to this episode and all of our episodes here on These Are Questions. And with that, all I have to say is that you have been watching / listening to These Are Questions. Questions. I can't beat with Chewbacca. There you go. Welcome to These Are Chewbacca's.
Oh, the Chewbacca defense.
Chewbacca dimension. Oh, we're gonna end with a South Park reference. I love that. That's a great episode too. That was. Oh my goodness, they're great. Good night, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.